This is Sky with Politics NY. Schneps Media is asking each candidate running for New York City office this year 3 questions in 3 minutes. And I'm here right now with Justin Krebs, who's running for City Council District 39 in Brooklyn. And he's live in Park Slope right now. Justin, how are you doing over there?
Thanks, Sky. I'm doing great. It's a day that starts to feel like spring and the city's coming alive, and I'm sitting outside, which is one of my favorite things to do.
So tell us, why are you running for this council district?
Sure, this is where I live, where my 3 girls go to school at PS 39, where my wife Casey, who's a midwife and a birth educator, runs her small business. And it's a neighborhood that we love. And so this is a place where I want to represent, and I want to bring the big organizing that I've done in the background and on a national level, on a local level, with parents, with food pantries, with arts and culture, to the service of this community. And it gives me a chance to be outside a lot and talk to a lot of folks.
Tell me more about your background. You said you organize on the national level?
So for the last 6.5 years, I've run the campaigns team at moveon.org, working with a team of campaign directors on some of the biggest campaigns, mobilizing our millions of members around the country on impeachment, immigration, healthcare, taxes, reproductive justice, gun violence, climate, and more. But beyond that, my background is as an organizer here in the city and on the state level, building progressive infrastructure, working in arts and culture. I'm the founder of a theater that's been around for about 18 years, and generally doing projects that pull folks together, build a sense of community, build social capital, and find ways to create things that are bigger than us individually.
So it sounds like you really understand how to work this. And from what I understand, a lot of this is done online.
Well, I've, over the last 6 years, been working with one of the top digital organizing groups that there is. So I'm very familiar with what's online, but really a lot of the online work is about supporting the more traditional form of get to know your voter politics. During a pandemic, a lot of that has to be virtual. A lot of that has to be this, and that's why I'm so grateful that you're doing this video series. But also, it doesn't replace, it just supplements the need to talk to voters, whether that's by phone, whether when folks are comfortable with meeting them on the street. It's connecting every way you can. And part of my love of running for a council district that I can easily bike around, walk around, subway around, is that I actually can be in the neighborhoods on our main streets and see folks face to face.
So do you want to show us a little bit about where you live, since you're sitting outside right now?
Sure. So we're in a courtyard right now in Park Slope. This building used to be an ink factory, the Higgins Ink Factory, before it became co-ops. And actually this building, which is now a music school next door, it's on facing 9th Street, used to be the administrative headquarters of the Higgins Ink Company, which is why the cupola up top is shaped like the top of an ink jar. So that's kind of a neat little bit of history. I'm not an artist. I never worked with Higgins Ink, but my wife actually used it in art school. A lot of folks used it for writing, for painting. So it's a real popular form of ink. And then if you look out that way, you get over to 8th Street. The school we go to is an avenue and a half up. The subway station is around the corner. The B63 is right over there. The B61 is right over there. There's a lot going on. There's a playground a few blocks that way. The park is a few avenues that way.
Wow, Justin, you really know your neighborhood really well, and you know how to digitally organize and get in touch with your neighbors.
It's what I love doing. I love connecting with folks. I love thinking about ways that people can work together. Again, creating social capital, creating those sense of community connections that allow you to do things bigger than yourselves, whether that's involved in the food pantry that we started during the pandemic up the street, or the theater that I helped build 18 years ago, or progressive organizing that I've done at Move On in the local level and with parents and our schools. And that's what I want to do in City Council.
All right, awesome. You heard it here on Schneps Media's 3 questions in 3 minutes. And this is Sky with Politics NY.